Just 1 second. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. We are continuing our study of the Sundara Kanda of Valmiki Ramayana. We'll offer prayers to Valmiki Muni, Lord Hanuman and Lord Sri Ramchandra. कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को नयाते परां गतिं वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसा दासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकी शोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि आञ्जनेयमदिपाटनालनं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् जयत्राशतसन्त्रासध्वान्तविध्वांसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं श्रीराम नाम वरानने. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing Sundara Kanda of the Valmiki Ramayana, the most beautiful section of the Ramayana. And we saw how the Sundara Kand begins with a very beautiful verse that echoes the analogy of a spiritual master coming in parampara, trying to retrieve the jiva who is stuck in samsara. And that is the theme of this entire section. So Hanuman, he took off from the Mahendragiri Parvat and he flew through the sky, and 5 elements were in his service. He went through 3 different obstacles and he aced them with grace. And once he entered Lanka, he met Lankini or Lanka, who was the visa officer and did not approve of Hanuman's entry. But then there was a little fight, and then she realized that this is going to be the end of Lanka as well as Ravan. And she remembers what Brahma had spoken earlier, and she allows Hanumanji to enter. So Hanuman goes inside and he's in search for Sita. On the Shukla Paksha Trayodashi Phalguna Mas, that is when Hanuman enters into uh, Lanka, and he goes through different places. He searches all evening inside Lanka, and then it is almost night. And then in the night, he enters the palace of Ravan. There he meets Ravan. He sees Ravan, rather. Ravan is sleeping. He also sees another lady who's sleeping near Ravan and mistakes her to be Sita. But then he realizes his mistake and he understands that cannot be Sita. Indeed, it was Mandodari. Then Hanuman, he continued to search, but he couldn't find Sita anywhere. So he got into depression and he was getting frustrated. But then he kept trying to bring himself out of the situation. So he was encouraging and counseling himself from time to time so that he could come out of this terrible situation of depression that he was undergoing. And finally, he pays obeisances. Namostu Ramaya Lakshmanaya Devai Chatasya Janakatmajai. Namostu Rudra Indrayama Anilebhyo. Namostu Chandra Arka Marudghanebhya. So he says this very beautiful verse, specifically paying his obeisances to Sita Devi in specific, and he also calls on to other deities as well because he is so inclined to somehow or the other find Sita. And by the mercy of Sita Devi, he sees that he has not actually searched the Ashok Vatika. So he goes there inside the Ashok Vatika and he thinks Sita Devi should come somewhere here she should be walking in this beautiful ponds because definitely from time to time she would come to pick lotuses or maybe to offer arghya. She would definitely come to this place. So he goes there and he hides behind a Simshupa tree. And that is when actually Sita Devi, she comes along with some Rakshasis and Hanuman catches a sight of her. Hanuman recognizes that this is Sita. And Hanuman was waiting for the opportune moment to actually talk to her. And then it was Brahma Muhurta, and Ravana, he actually comes the first thing in the morning. He wants to meet Sita. So he comes to meet Sita, and everything is being watched by Hanuman. Hanuman is seeing Raman come. Hanuman sees how Raman speaks to Sita, how Sita puts a blade of grass, and we went through all the different reasons why she puts a blade of grass. And then she tells him in various ways that he should turn away his mind. And in fact, though she doesn't say directly surrender to Ramachandra, she says at least make friendship with him. So that's how we see the discussion between Sita and Ravan. And then Ravana, he departs from there after giving her a time limit of 2 months, telling that if she doesn't listen to him within 2 months, then he would cook her and eat her up for breakfast. So he says that, and then he tells all the Rakshasis that it is now your duty to torture her, and somehow or the other, either by speaking very sweet words or speaking rough words, doesn't matter, she has to come under my control. So the Rakshasis, they all try to speak to Sita in various ways, trying to force her to come under the control of Ravan. But Sita is very frustrated and she's lamenting and she's thinking, when will Lord Ram come? And that's when Trijata, she has a dream. And in the dream, it is revealed to her that Lanka would be doomed and Ravan is soon going to die, but Sita and Ram are going to be victorious. So she tells all the demonesses to surrender, but then the demonesses do not listen to Trijata. It was an early morning dream indeed. So there is a very high chance that it could come out true. Then Sita, she is very frustrated and she thinks there is no point living. So she tries to suicide and she uses the plate of her hair and she's trying to tie it to the tree and she's trying to die. And at that time, Hanuman, he begins to speak. He wants to talk, but he doesn't know how to talk. So he begins chanting the very beautiful Ramayana and about the life of Sita Devi and Lord Ramachandra. And finally, Sita looks up and she sees this Vanara. And then she's very surprised to see a little monkey speaking Ramayana. And then she begins to talk to him. Who are you? How did you come here? And all that. And Hanuman was also wanted to get an confirmation that this is indeed Sita. So he asks her many questions, and then finally she starts introducing herself. She says she's the daughter-in-law of Dasharath, and then she also says, I'm the daughter of the noble nature Janak Maharaj. And then she tells her entire story that she stayed for 12 years in the kingdom of Ram, and then later they were banished, and now Raman has given a 2-month mandate. So then Hanuman, he introduces himself. He says, Aham Ramasya Sandesha Devi Duta Tava Agataha. I am the Duta of Rama. And then there is a nice conversation that goes on between the two of them. He then gives the ring, that is the proof that he is actually Ramaduta. But before he gives the ring, there is a quick questionnaire that is run by Sita Devi. Sita Devi, before she even sees the ring, she wants confirmation. So she asks many questions. Tell me, how does he look? What is his nature? And so on. And then Hanuman, in very beautiful poetry, he describes the beauty and the wonderful qualities of Lord Ramachandra. And then finally, he gives the ring of Rama. And Sita is very, very gladdened to see the ring. She takes the ring, she places it near her heart, and she literally sees Ram through that ring. And then she glorifies Hanuman. She says, Vikrantahatvam, Samartatvam, Prajnatvam, Vanara Uttama, Yena idam Rakshasapadam, Tvaya Ekena Padashratam. So she glorifies him, saying that you have all these great qualities. You're completely empowered, you're very valiant, you're competent, you're intelligent, you're the best among monkeys. So like that, she glorifies him in various ways. And then Hanuman, he actually understands the situation, and he wants to, in fact, take Sita with him. He says, "Oh, my dear Sita Devi, my dear mother, why don't you actually climb on me and I'll take you back to the mainland?" But then Sita, very nicely, she refuses. She says, "No, it's not appropriate for various reasons." And then she says, "Only Ramachandra should come." Now that Hanuman is ready to depart, she has to give her side of proof, right? So she first tells the story of this crow demon that comes to peck on her, and then how Ramachandra got very, very angry and he picked a blade of grass and he made it into a Brahmastra. So she tells that private story that happened between them. And she also tells another story, which is how Lord Ramachandra, once the kumkum on her face was rubbed off. So Ramachandra, he had some nice mineral powder from which he made kumkum, and he put it on her forehead, and also he placed it on his cheek. So this was another private pastime that they had, and this was spoken to Hanuman. But before she said the second pastime, she also had the chudamani tied on a cloth. So she unties it and she gives the chudamani to Hanuman. And after Hanuman receives all this, he begins to walk, thinking that he has to go to the mainland. But then suddenly he has a thought that why not do more service? And what kind of service is this? This kind of service is service that is not contradictory to the desire of the Lord. Okay, so that kind of service. So Hanuman, he thought he should do more stuff. So he began to destroy that entire Ashok Vatika, except the place where Sita was sitting. And the way he did it was so that he could attract the attention of the demons. Why did he want to attract the attention of demons? Because he wanted to get an interview with Ravan. So that was his intention. And why does he need an interview with Ravan? Because he wanted to assess the strength of Ravan, see what his intentions are, how strong he is, and so on. So he begins destroying this place, and many of the Rakshasis, they go and ask Sita, hey, that monkey, he came and he spoke to you, now he's destroying everything. So tell me who he is, and so on. And Sita, she just feigns ignorance. She says, only a snake knows where a snake's feet is. Uh, uh, even in local languages also we say this. Only one demon understands the nature of another demon. That's what it means pretty much. So you are a demon, and maybe he's also a demon, and only demons take different forms, and they're very destructive. So that's what is happening. He should be one of you. So she feigns ignorance and she says that. And then afterwards, Ravan is notified that the garden is being destroyed, and there is a Vanar who's taken a huge form and he's destroying everything around him. And he also spoke to Sita. All this information was given to Ravan. So Ravana, he feels that, okay, there is someone who's coming to disturb. So he decides to send many, many kinkaras. And hundreds and thousands of kinkaras were sent, and they were all defeated by single-handedly by Hanuman. So Hanuman used to stand in the entrance of the arched doorway of the Ashokvatika, and there he got hold of a huge iron rod, and single-handedly he killed all these kinkaras who came to attack Hanuman. So we stopped there in the previous class. Now we'll continue from here. So now what happened was the information was again sent to Ravan saying that all the Kinkaras have died. So that is when Ravana decides that he has to send another set of people. So we saw in the previous class itself, Ravana, he ordered Jambumali, who was the son of Prahashta. Prahashta was one of the ministers. So he orders Jambumali, who was the son of Prahashta, to go for a battle because Jambumali was a very, very strong warrior. So in the interim period between when Jambumali came and the rest of the Kinkaras were dead and gone, at that time Hanuman thought that, okay, I have done a good job by destroying the Ashokvatika. Now remember in the beginning I was describing how Ashokvatika was looking, and there was a Chaitya Prasadam, which is the Buddhist temple. Even to this day we have so many Buddhist temples in Lanka. So Hanuman looked at the Chaitya Prasadam, and it was extremely gorgeous. It was the pride of Lanka, actually, that Buddhist temple. So Hanuman, he thought that this temple should be destroyed. It is so palatial. It's a huge mansion. It's like a mountain by itself, and it looks like another rising sun. So why not destroy this place? So Hanuman, very enthusiastically, he claps his arms and then he climbs up that Chaitya Prasadam. And he decides to destroy that entire place. So before destroying it, he calls out, अस्त्र विजयतां रामो लक्ष्मणः च महाबला राजा जयति सुग्रीवो राघवेन अभिपालिता दासोऽहं कौसल इन्द्रियस्य रामस्य अकिलिष्टकर्मणः हनुमान् शत्रुसैन्यानां निहन्ता मारुतात्मजा. So he says, hey, long live Ram, who's killed in archery, and long live powerful Hanuman. Long live King Sugriva, who's always protected by Ram. I am Hanuman, and I am the destroyer of all this army of demons, and I am the son of the wind god. I am the servant of Ram, who's the king of the Kosala kingdom. And even 1,000 of Ravanas will not be a match to my power. I'm capable of striking with thousands of rocks and trees in a battle. So see here, everybody, before the eyes of all you demons, offering obeisances to Sita, I am going to destroy and annihilate this entire city of Lanka. And then after completing my task, I will go back. So he says this, he claims this standing on top of the Chaitya Prasadam. And when he claimed this and he attracted the attention of more people, then a lot of other servants who came running in that place, they all started attacking Hanuman. They were attacking Hanuman with various kinds of mazes and arrows and all sorts of weapons. But Hanuman, who's the son of wind god, what he did was he just uprooted one pillar from that temple, that Chaitya Prasada temple, and that one pillar had 100 spokes, 100 edges, and it was decorated very, very nicely with gold. It was gold plated. So he just picked that up, he whirled it around, and he started striking the pillars with each other. So while he was striking the pillars with each other, a huge fire was generated because of the friction between the pillars, and the entire temple was consumed with fire. So, seeing the entire temple burning, Hanuman, he just killed hundreds and thousands of all these kinkaras who were coming back to attack him. And after killing all of them, again, he rose up into the sky and he started telling, "You thousands and hundreds of Vanaras, you all hold enmity with this great soul Ram. For this very reason, just because you have enmity with Ram, this Lanka will not be there anymore. Neither you nor your king Ravan will survive." So he was doing this. Now the Chaitya Prasada was fully on fire. Shokvatika was destroyed. All the Kinkaras were killed. So now that everyone was killed, Ravan had already given instructions to Jambumali. So now Jambumali, this great demoniac person, he had tusks. He was wielding a bow. He was wearing reddish garlands and cloth, and he had a huge, gigantic body. He was a source of fear. In fact, he was known to cause diseases, it is mentioned. He had the potential to cause diseases. He was probably an embodiment of some disease. So, this Jambumali, he had huge red open eyes, and he was the son of Prahasta. Now he was commanded by Ravan, and he appeared there on the scene. So now Hanuman had his next task of fighting with Jambumali. So this long-armed Jambumali, he put a nice sharp arrow to his bow and he started shooting Hanuman. Hanuman at this point in time, every time he finished a task, Hanuman would come and stand in the arched doorway of Ashok Vatika. So every set of people he killed, he would finish the job and then he would come and stand like that on the doorway. So Hanuman was standing in the doorway, and now Jambumali had come and he started shooting arrows at Hanuman, and multiple arrows were struck on Hanuman's face, and Hanuman's face was filled with blood. As it is, his face was very reddish because he was in the spirit of fighting, but now, because of the striking of so many arrows, his face was filled with blood. So he took a huge rock, and taking that rock with his hands, he hurled it with great force on this demon. But then it was seen that this Jambumali could actually dodge that huge rock. And seeing that there was no use throwing that rock, now Hanuman, he again uprooted a huge sal tree and he whirled it around and he struck Jambumali with that tree. And then he saw, okay, Jambumali was still not dying. Then he took a huge iron rod and he threw at him. And when finally he took a huge iron rod and he threw it at Jambumali, Jambumali's head was smashed. His arms were smashed, his knees, everything, his bow, his body, his horses, his arrows, everything was completely smashed. So Jambumali was giving a good fight. He was shooting arrows continuously at Hanuman. But then Hanuman, he tried different methods. First, he picked a rock, then he picked a tree, and then finally he used his favorite weapon, that is that iron rod, and he pushed it on Jambumali and smashed him into pieces. So, like this, Jambumali died, and all the Kinkaras also died. This news was given to Ravan. So now Ravan, his eyes were red hot, and he was so angry because he thought Jambumali is a great warrior, but then Jambumali was no more. So then Ravan, he decided to send the sons of Prahasta. So he thought, okay, the other sons of Prahasta, there were 7 sons of Prahasta. So he decided to send all of them. And they were very, very great warriors. They were all like fire. So they all came to attack Hanuman and they were shooting continuous arrows at Hanuman. And in fact, Hanuman was covered with a shower of arrows. It was looking like a huge mountain was concealed by incessant showers. Like when it rains very heavily, how the mountain is covered with showers of rain, like that Hanuman was covered with showers of arrows. And Hanuman was roaring and he was frightening that entire army and he rushed towards him. He took some of these people by his arms, some of them by his palms, some of them by his fist. He tore them down with the nails that he had. He crushed some of them by beating on their chests and others by splitting their thighs. Some fell down here and there just by the roar that was made by Hanuman. So physically, he picked each one of them and he started tearing them. So this is what Hanuman did. And hearing this tumultuous sound of Hanuman's fighting, the horses and the elephants, they all fell on the ground. The entire earth was filled with so many chariots and animals and all these different bodies that was torn apart by Hanuman. So now Hanuman killed everybody, all the people, including the seven sons of Prahashta, and then he goes and again he takes his position by standing in the arched doorway. So this news was relayed to Ravan. So now Ravan got to know that the seven sons of Prahashta were also killed. So now Ravan called on to his great army generals. They were Virupaksha, Upaksha, Durdhara, and Pragasha, and Basakarna. So he called all of them and he told them, actually, we have underestimated this monkey. He's not an ordinary monkey. I think he's an evil spirit. He's got extraordinary powers. So go and capture that evil spirit and bring that evil spirit to me. So he said, don't underestimate him as a monkey. He's no more a monkey. There is something wrong here. So go and capture him and come. So, in fact, Ravan at this time he tells his generals that I have seen many Vanaras in the past. I have seen Vanaras like Vali and Sugriv. I've even seen Jambavan. I've seen Neela, who's the chief commander of the entire Vanara Saint. I've seen Dvivida. I've seen many of them, but their performance has never been as fearful as this. Actually, Ravan had already met Vali in the past and he had made a pact of friendship with Vali. So he had seen many of the Vanaras in the past. That's what he's saying now also. I've seen their prowess, I've seen their fighting capabilities, but nobody is like the Vanara who has come today. So this he doesn't even seem to be a Vanara. Maybe he's some sort of an evil spirit. So he says that and he sends all his generals to go and fight with Hanuman. Then Durdhara, he leapt into the sky with his chariot. He stretched his bow with sharp arrows and he went in front of Hanuman and he started striking Hanuman with many, many arrows. So, like this, affected by the arrows by Durdhara, Hanuman, he roared again and he began to expand his body. And he began to expand his body and he swiftly went and smashed down Durdara. So now that Durdara was on the ground, Virupaksha, Upaksha, and all of them, they jumped into the air to strike Hanuman in various ways. But then Hanuman, with his great prowess, he again jumped and he picked up a huge sala tree and he smashed it on all of them and he began to kill the demons. So Pragasa was pierced by Hanuman with a sharp pointed spear, and Bhasakarana attacked him with a dart. And Hanuman picked the cliff of a mountain and he smashed it on them and killed all of them. So, like this, they were using weapons, but Hanuman was using rocks, cliffs of mountains, and huge trees and his nails. These were the weapons that Hanuman used. Of course, many of the pictures they show Hanuman with a huge gada, with a huge mace, but actually Hanuman never wielded a mace in the Ramayana. It is just devotees' vision that they always see him with a mace or a gada. But actually, throughout the Ramayana, Hanuman doesn't use any weapon at all. He just uses trees, rocks, nails, his own prowess to counteract all these different demons. Then the news again went to Ravan that even these people, these five army generals, they were killed. So now Ravan was very, very upset. He didn't know what to do. He had to send his own kith and kin. So he called for his dear son, Akshakumar. We say Akshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram, right? Aksha, this Aksha was one of the sons of Ravan. So now Ravan decided to send Akshay Kumar to go and fight with Hanuman. So how was Akshay Kumar? Akshay Kumar had a beautiful figure. He had a golden chain. He was wearing nice armlets, he had lovely earrings, and he was very swift in his action, and he was very, very heroic. So he approached Hanuman, and both of them started fighting with each other. They were so they were matching each other's valor so nicely that even the demigods were baffled looking at the fight. Hmm? So this Akshay Kumar, he started raining down arrows at Hanuman, and Hanuman, he was standing in the like a mountain, receiving those arrows, just like how cloud showers rain on a huge mountain. So these arrows were like showers, and it was falling on Hanuman. But Akshay Kumar was very, very swift and valiant, and Hanuman was dodging these different arrows that were shot by him. And Hanuman was thinking in his mind, this Akshay Kumar, he possesses such great luster. He's like the rising sun. He's performing such a great act. He's just a young man and he's shooting arrows so beautifully. So actually, Hanuman was admiring the prowess of Akshay Kumar, and he's thinking, this boy, he's so distinguished in all acts of warfare. He's an expert in everything. He's so intelligent. He's got prominent valor, and he's very well composed, and he knows how to handle a battle. So actually, in his heart and mind, Hanuman was glorifying Akshay Kumar in various ways. And he's thinking, in fact, all the saints, the Nagas and the Yakshas and the Rakshasas, they should all be admiring this boy. This boy is so good. So he was just adoring Akshay Kumar the way he was fighting. And he was thinking, this boy is standing in front of me and he's looking at me straight in my eyes. So much power and confidence this boy has. And the way he moves so swiftly, he can tremble the minds of even demigods and all the demons. So, like this, Hanuman was adoring him. But then he thought to himself, if I just neglect him and keep adoring him, he will just overpower me. Now he is an enemy. So I better treat him like an enemy. And his prowess is only increasing in the battle. So now I have no other choice, but I have to kill him. So it is not proper to neglect a spreading fire, right? If you know that this fire is very powerful, you don't sit and admire the beauty of the light that is coming from the fire. Rather, you curb the fire. So Hanuman, who is the great Vayu using the blow of his palm was so strong. He just slapped all the horses, and Akshay Kumar's horses, all they just fainted and fell down. And Akshay Kumar, because his chariot was breaking apart as the horses were falling off, he leapt into the sky. He's a Rakshasa, he could fly, he could jump up into the sky. Then Hanuman, with his huge form, he caught hold of Akshay Kumar, he picked him up, and he hurled him around multiple times, and he just crashed him on the floor. So, like this, Akshay Kumar, who had this great luster, and he was like Jayanta, who's the son of Indra. But then he vomited blood as he crashed down after being swirled around so many times by Hanuman's huge body, and he crashed on the floor and he died. So, after Akshay Kumar was killed, again Hanuman, he went and he took his position in the arched doorway of Ashoka Vatika. Now the news, it went to Ravan. Ravan was so upset. His own dear son Aksha had been killed. He just couldn't reconcile himself, and he found it it was so miserable for him. He just couldn't accept this fact. But he didn't have a choice. He had to send someone else. So he called for his son Indrajit, who's his eldest son. So his Indrajit, the eldest son of Ravan, he had very great qualities, and all those qualities Ravan himself says. He calls out for his son and he says, "My dear son, you have all sorts of mystic missiles, all these different astras. You know them. You are the best among those who are conversant with all these divine weapons. You have even." Won over Indra. That's why he's called as Indrajit. You can call anguish even to the demigods and the demons, Indra and other demigods, they have seen your performance and your capability of using missiles. Especially, you know how to use the Brahmastra. In a battle against you, all the three worlds, they tremble. and you have so much intellect, and you're protected by your strong arms. You're guarded by penance. You have received so many boons. You're aware of time, place, circumstance. There is nothing impossible for you in the war field. You always come out victorious. Everything is possible by you. You are such a great warrior, and these are warriors of mine. I have no other hope. I just have to send you, because all the other warriors of mine, whom I thought are great warriors, they are all killed, including your brother Aksha. He is also killed. His strength is so unestimable. Even he has been killed. So now, Indrajit, I have no other go, but I have to ask you to go. You're the only option. It is better for me to send someone than to ignore my duties as a king and a Kshatriya. So he tells, not really Kshatriya, but as a king, okay? So he tells Indrajit, you please proceed, and you can easily kill this Vanara, so please go. So Indrajit, he moves in his chariot yoked with four tigers, and they have sharp teeth. So usually you have chariots with horses. Even Ravana had a chariot with mules. Remember, he had a donkey yoked chariot. So these are the common chariots that people have. But this Indrajit was very special, that he had a chariot yoked with sharp-toothed tigers. So that was his chariot. In fact, you won't believe, in the Uttarakanda, the first few chapters, when we go through that, we'll come through this instance. When Agastya Muni and others, they come and talk to Lord Ramachandra, they're praising Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman for their victory in the war, but then specifically they are not even bothered about the killing of Ravan. Actually, the way the Agastya and other munis, they talk to Ram is, yeah, Ravan got killed. That is not a big surprise for us, but we are so surprised that Indrajit got killed. That's how they talk. Actually, Indrajit was considered a big terror, very, very difficult to handle. Hmm. They thought that, according to the opinion of the sages, even Ravan can be killed, but Indrajit cannot be killed. So that is the power of Indrajit that we are talking. Of course, later he's killed by Lakshman, but that is the that's the beauty of the Ramayana. We'll do all that when we come to Uttarakanda, not now, okay, because that's a full topic by itself. So we won't do that, but just wanted to mention, you can imagine how great a warrior this Indrajit is. So he had tigers yoked to his chariot. And like this, Indrajit was very, very enthused by his father. This Indrajit is Meghanad, okay? Because when he was born, all these stories come in Uttarakhand, okay? His birth story, all that will be there. How he became powerful, all that. His history, geography, all that we'll read later. So this Indrajit, he's also called as Meghanad, and he was very enthused by his father's words, and he thought he will be successful in capturing. Actually, Ravan wanted to capture this Vanar because he wanted to know what his real intention is and who he is. He didn't understand the identity of Hanuman. So that was his first business. So, anyhow, Indrajit, he set out in a rattling chariot and he started twanging his bow. And then these two warriors, Hanuman and Indrajit, they met each other face to face and they started a huge battle, just like how Indra would have a battle with Ravan. That kind of a battle started. Now, Hanuman had so much strength and he began to expand his body, and he stopped the swift arrows of Indrajit. So, anyone who attacked Hanuman, they all had weapons. First, they would shoot arrows, then they would use other weapons. But Hanuman didn't have anything. He had the strength of his body and he just had little rocks and some trees and things like that. So Indrajit, while he was shooting arrows like this, Hanuman was continuously dodging these arrows. And both of them were very swift. Indrajit was also very skilled and very quick in shooting arrows. And Hanuman was also very skilled. He was also very swift in the war field. And Indrajit could not understand how to handle this Hanuman. He could not understand if Hanuman really had a weakness and if he could hit the weakness, of Hanuman. And Hanuman also couldn't understand how to handle Indrajit because he was also trying to assess Indrajit in various ways, but it was just not possible. Indrajit was so quick and he was such a fantastic warrior. So now Indrajit, he also knew the nature of many, many astras. so what he did was he could understand this Hanuman is somehow very strong. We can't kill this Hanuman. He was trying to shoot arrows and some weapons, and nothing was happening to Hanuman. Hanuman was very skilled. So Indrajit thought, okay, let me at least bind up this Hanuman and take him to my father. So now he decided to use the Brahmastra. And he decided to use the Brahmastra, and he shot the Brahmastra at Hanuman to bind him. That was the intention of using the Brahmastra. So when he chanted that particular mantra with which the Brahmastra goes and creates a thin binding around Hanuman, Hanuman is captured. Now, Hanuman identified just by his murmuring of the mantra, he could understand this is the Brahmastra. And Hanuman was thinking in his mind, I cannot be captured by the Brahmastra. I cannot be tied by the Brahmastra. Because when he was young, he received a boon that the Brahmastra cannot do anything to him. But then he thought, but this is the Astra of Brahma, I should respect it. So let me get bound. So he submits himself to the Brahmastra. Okay. Now there is a commentary that says that he submits himself to the Brahmastra to be bound, and that effect is there only for 48 minutes. Okay, this is a commentary. It's not there in the Valmiki Ramayana verse itself. So an added information. So he thinks that let me submit myself, let me get voluntarily bound. I know it's not going to have any effect on me, meaning it's not like if Hanuman desires, he can free himself, but he doesn't want to free himself. He just wants to be bound by it so that he can have an audience with Ravan. That was his intention. So now what happened? Indrajit wanted to pull Hanuman, like, how you pull an animal, you tie up an animal and you pull the animal and take the animal. So like that, Indrajit wanted to pull Hanuman through the streets of Lanka so that everybody could see him get humiliated. So Indrajit pulled him and he took him, and all the demons, they started surrounding this Hanuman and they were shouting all bad words, you can say, at Hanuman. And Hanuman was being pulled and he was taken. But some of the demonesses, they thought they are very smart. Demons and demonesses. All the Rakshasas and Rakshasis, they wanted to be a little extra smart. They saw that their prince had come and bound this Hanuman, and Hanuman is getting pulled by some invisible ropes. But then they thought, we don't know if this rope is tight enough. So what they did is they went and they got different kinds of wires and cords and yarns and bark of trees and all that. And they thought, what if this invisible rope gets, if it releases? So let us also tie him up with all that we can find. So they got different kinds of ropes and threads and strings and all that. And they also started tying up Hanuman. Now, what happens if one is being bound by the Brahmastra and some other ropes and other things are used, not thinking that the Brahmastra is not enough, then the Brahmastra gives way. That is, it just gets released. Why? Because the Brahmastra has huge amount of self-respect. Meaning, if Brahmastra is very gets very angry, thinking that okay, you don't have faith in me that I can bind something, and you're using other things to bind this person, then I don't have to take so much effort. I can actually leave this person. So Brahmastra will give way because it has, you've hurt Brahmastra's ego. So Brahmastra will leave. So now Indrajit knew this because he knows how to chant the Brahmastra mantras and use the Brahmastra. So Indrajit knew this. And Indrajit was thinking, oh, what did these people do? They are so foolish, these demons. I don't even know why they use these different ropes and threads and strings, and they are trying to tie up Hanuman. Now this Brahmastra will become futile. It will just give way. All our plans are gone. So he was thinking like that, and Hanuman also knew that. So Hanuman and Indrajit, both of them knew that, and Hanuman was laughing because Hanuman, anyhow, nothing is going to happen to him with the Brahmastra. And Hanuman was thinking, what fools. Now Brahmastra will also not have any effect. And Indrajit was thinking, oh, this is so sad. Now all the effort that I put in is gone. But still, Indrajit was pulling Hanuman, and Hanuman was acting like he's still bound. Though the Brahmastra had given way, it had completely gone. Okay, there was no effect of Brahmastra. That little her rope of Brahmastra was completely ruined, and only these little strings and threads were there around Hanuman. And Hanuman was acting very innocent. And he was beaten by sticks. These Rakshasas and Rakshasis, they were taking sticks and they were beating him. They were trying to show their prowess and they were dragging him. And he was agreeing to everything very innocently. Why? Because he just had only one intention. He wanted to get darshan of, not darshan, maybe he wanted to see Ravan. Darshan sounds very auspicious. So maybe he just wanted to see Ravana. Okay. So then Indrajit, he took Hanuman finally in front of Ravan. Indrajit was thinking, these idiotic demons, what have they done? But still, this Hanuman is acting like as if he's been bound. So anyway, my purpose is fulfilled. He's agreeing to whatever I'm trying to do. So it's okay. Whatever his intentions are, we'll just take him in front of my father. So he takes Hanuman in front of Ravan. Now, this is a small lesson here that this Brahmastra, right? It is very similar. The mood of the Brahmastra is very similar to the Lord. Okay, our Supreme Lord, when he says, Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja sakrideva prapanaya tavasmi ticha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadadimi etad vratam mama. So he is very possessive, our Lord. Okay, when he says ekam sharanam vraja, that means it's only me. You cannot take shelter of others, and also, you cannot say, oh, Krishna, I take shelter of you, but I will also tell others. I will also tell Lord Shiva, I will also tell Lord Ganesha, I will also tell Lord Kartikeya, and I'll tell others also to help me. Then the Lord will say, you please take care. They will take care of you, and he will wash off his hands. So he is very similar to the Brahmastra. This Brahmastra, or rather Brahmastra is like him. Brahmastra has taken on qualities like our Lord. And if you say, I surrender unto you, and then you say, I will also surrender to this person, that person, XYZ, Krishna will say, yes, they all will protect you. I am washing off hands. So Brahmastra is like him. So Brahmastra requires a lot of loyalty. So now Brahmastra did not have any effect at all. So now Hanuman, he goes in front of Ravan. Now, as he was walking into the assembly of Ravan, at that time, there was a huge commotion. All the demons, they were all curious to see who's that monkey who destroyed everything. So they were all talking amongst each other. Hey, whose messenger is he? He created so much havoc. You know what he did? He went and he destroyed the Chaitya Prasadam. He has destroyed the Ashok Vatika. You have any guesses who he should be? And they were thinking, oh, is he a demon? Is he a Naga? Is he a Gandharva? We should roast him alive and eat him up. He has messed up with everybody. He, our king Ravan should give him the right punishment. So like that, they were all talking like this. So there was a lot of murmuring. Everybody was thinking, oh, what is going to happen now? A lot of people were screaming, Hanuman has to be punished. Hanuman has to be punished. So like that, they were all screaming. And finally, Hanuman appeared in front of Ravan face to face. And now Ravan, he was in the peak of his anger. His own son was killed. Akshakumar was killed. And Prahasta's sons were killed. And so many ministers and generals were all gone. So Ravan was in great rage. He rolled his red hot eyes and it was like as if he's going to burn down Hanuman with his vision. But then Ravan, he told his ministers, come on, interrogate him, find out who he is. And then he looked at Hanuman and he said, are you Nandi or are you Banasur? When Mount Kailash was moved by me, that Nandi came and he started challenging me and he cursed me. Maybe you are Nandi. You are Nandi in the form of a Vanar and you have come here. Or are you Banasur who fought with me? Definitely you are Banasur. You have come in the form of a monkey. So, like this Raman with his red hot eyes, he was interrogating. He was asking this Hanuman who he is. And then he called Prahasta and he told him, you ask this monkey where he has come, where, from what is his purpose, and why he frightened all the female demons in Ashok Vatika, why he destroyed the Ashok Vatika. Then Prahasta, he looked at Hanuman and he said, have you been sent by Indra? Or are you Kubera's man? Or are you from Yamaraj's, one of the Yamadutas? Or are you Varuna? Or were you sent by Vishnu? Or are you some messenger of some demigod? Tell me the truth. Tell me, who are you? Who sent you? If you don't tell me who sent you, then you will have to face our wrath. So, hearing these words of Prahasta, Hanuman, he looked at Ravan and he told Ravan, look, I am not the messenger of Indra. I am not the messenger of Yama. I am not the messenger of Varuna. I have absolutely nothing to do with Kuvera. I have no friendship with him, your half brother. I don't even know where he exists. I am not instigated by Vishnu. And just because it is very difficult to get an audience with the great Ravan, I had a desire to see you. So, to get your attention, I destroyed the garden. That was the only motive for me to destroy the garden. Then, when I was destroying the garden, these strong demons, they came and they fought with me. Just because they were fighting with me and attacking me, I wanted to protect my body. So, to protect my body, I had to attack them in a battle. Actually, I'm not even capable of being bound by missiles, not even the celestial weapons, because I had received a boon from Brahma directly. But then, with a desire to see you, I acted like as if I surrendered to the missile, but the missile also gave way. But even then, I acted like as if I was bound, and I came with your son Indrajit so that I could have your interview. I could come and see you. So he says that now I'm in your presence and understand that I have nothing to do with all these great personalities you mentioned. I am not Nandi, I am not Bhanasur, I am not the messenger of any of those people. I am indeed only the messenger of Rama, who has unlimited splendor. And then Hanuman, he narrates the story of Lord Ram, how Ramachandra, on the command of his father, he went to Dandakaranya forest, and there Sita was kidnapped by this Ravan. And then later, Hanuman was asked to search in the southern direction. He went over Rishimukha mountain and then he flew across the ocean, and now he's in Lanka. So Hanuman tells his entire story. So he says, yes, I was actually sent by Ram. In fact, this Ram, when he was searching for Sita, he made friendship with Sugriv on top of Mount Rishimukha, and because of their friendship, Sugriv sent all the Vanaras in different direction, and I am the Vanar who came in the southern direction and understand that I am in fact only the servant of Lord Ram. So he says, you have been defeated by Vali in the past, he says. Hanuman tells Ravan, because there's a story in Uttarakhand, we'll see. There's a story how once Ravan went to challenge Vali, and that time Vali was doing Sandhya Vandan. So he was leaving Argyam and then he was doing his Sandhya Vandan. And how Vali used to do Sandhya Vandan is he used to jump from one ocean to the other and do Sandhya Vandan in all directions. So he saw this little Ravan was like a hindrance to him. So he picked Ravan and put him in his armpit, and he was jumping from one ocean to the other. And Ravana was amazed, and he thought there's no point fighting with this guy, rather I should make friendship with him. So Hanuman says, you know the prowess of Vali. You know the prowess of Vali already. And you know what? This Ramachandra, with just one arrow, he shot that Vali and he made Sugriv the king of the Vanaras. So you can imagine the prowess of Ram. In the past, once Ravan had a fight with Vali and lost miserably. That strong Vali was defeated by Ram. This is what Hanuman's message was. He said that in the past you have tried to fight with him also, and you were defeated and you were carried around in his armpit. That guy was killed in one arrow of Ram, that Vanar. So you can imagine how strong Ramachandra is. So I am his messenger, and you better submit to Ram and give back Sita. So hearing these words of Hanuman, Ravan was very, very angry, and he told, what? I should submit to you? And he gave an order that Hanuman should be killed immediately. So that was the nature of Ravan. He wanted the immediate killing of Hanuman. Now, Hanuman had come as a messenger. He did not come to attack Ravan in the palace. He only came as a messenger. He said, I am the servant and messenger of Ram. So now Vibhishan, who was hearing this entire conversation, and when he heard that the order given by Ravan is that Hanuman should be killed, Vibhishan did not agree to the killing of Hanuman. He said, no, brother, you cannot kill him. You cannot give such an order. Why? Because he is performing the function of a messenger. A messenger should never be killed. Okay, in a very soft voice. He was very skilled in communication, this Vibhishana. He spoke very softly, but he spoke meaningful words. He told his brother, O king of demons, you please forgive and give up your anger. Be gracious and listen to my words. Kings never ever kill a messenger. Killing this monkey is against the virtue and the custom of proper kings. It is improper for you to do this. And you, being a king, you know what is right and what is wrong. And if learned persons like you, you're so well studied in Shastras, so learned persons like you, if you succumb to anger uncontrollably, then all the knowledge that you have gathered while learning the scriptures will just go waste. So you better be very graceful, understand what is right and wrong, and just give him some punishment, but do not kill him. But then Raman said, "Oh, when we kill sinners, there is no sin that we incur. So I will kill this monkey because he has performed great sins today." But then Vibhishan, he hears these terrible words and he says, yes, this enemy is arrogant. He has come and he's created a lot of destruction. He's not given us happiness. But sadhus or scriptures do not talk about killing any messenger. In fact, there are different punishments that a messenger can be given. Some of the punishments are deforming the limbs, striking the person with a whip, shaving his head, making some funny marks on his body. And all these are different punishments you can give. But then we have never heard in history of anyone killing a messenger. So he tells, O king of demons, O Ravan, you're very, very valorous. You're very heroic. Even the great demigods and demons, they cannot do anything to you. You're so well trained in scriptures. And he is a person who's sent by our enemies. He's a messenger of our enemy. Don't kill him. Um, don't kill him. Rather, it is of good use for us to send him back. Okay? Send him back because he can go, he's capable of flying back, and he'll be able to go and tell Ram and Lakshman that you are ready for a war and you are also very fond of having a war. So, if this Hanuman is released, as a messenger, he can go and tell them that they should come and fight with you. That way, you can face both of them in battle and you can show your prowess. You are a great demon. You have even fought with Indra. So you don't have to go there to personally kill Ram and Lakshman. Rather, let them come here and then you kill them. You're so capable, you can directly handle them. So he says, let some of your commanders take a portion of your army and let them go and bring these princes under their control so that they can understand your power. And if needed, there can be a war. That should be the way we should handle it. So Ravan was very, very happy hearing this advice of his brother Vibhishan. He tells, my dear brother Vibhishan, actually, you have spoken correctly. I should not be killing this messenger. If I kill this messenger, unnecessary bad name for me. Rather, this messenger should go and tell all about me to those two brothers, and they should come here and I should be able to fight with them. This idea is very good. So he says, you've spoken very well, but still, we have to give him a severe, severe punishment. So he tells, the tail of a monkey is the most beloved ornament. So let that tail be burnt immediately. So he tells the demons, go and sprinkle some oil and then set that fire, set the tail on fire. So then Hanuman, he was dragged and he there all sorts of huge cotton cloth and it was soaked in vats of oil and they were all brought and they were tying it around Hanuman's tail. And Hanuman was thinking, actually, I've been tied by the demons. Right now, I can fly up. I'm capable of just expanding my body. I can fly up and then kill them in 2 minutes. I killed hundreds and thousands of kinkaras. I was able to kill all these terrible, terrible demons. Now, there are a bunch of people just trying to put some cloth around my tail. I can just jump up and kill everybody. But I should understand but that my job is not yet over. So I have to put up with this situation. So he thinks Lanka was not seen enough by me because I had come in the night and I couldn't see all the details of Lanka. Now I should observe it during the daytime very, very carefully. I should see every nook and corner of Lanka. Let the demons actually burn my tail. And with the burning tail, I will go to every nook and corner of Lanka and burn Lanka down. So, like this, he was planning in his mind. So, even in this condition, all that Hanuman wanted to do is service to the Lord, and that is bhakti. So, even under challenging circumstances, Hanuman was seeing always a way how he can serve the Lord. This is a very challenging situation. This is a very difficult situation where you're being punished physically, right? Physical punishment, torture is being done, but still the consciousness of Hanuman was like, how can I serve more? Even in this condition, it doesn't matter what they do to me. In this terrible situation, also, I will try to serve the Lord. That was the mood of Hanuman. So now Hanuman, what he did was slowly his tail was lit on fire, and he saw how, I mean, even before his tail was, his tail was lit with fire, and then he started going through all the different crossroads, highways, and then he went from one place to the other, and all the people there, they were all telling, ha ha ha, see how nicely this Hanuman has been punished. This is the punishment that is meant for spies. So he was actually accompanied by the demons, and his tail was on fire, and he was just walking and walking, and all the people were coming and crowding around him and laughing, and they were telling, look at the punishment that is given to him. So one demoness who saw this, that Hanuman's tail was on fire, and then he was dragged along the streets, and people were making remarks. One particular demoness, she goes to Ashok Vatika and she tells Sita Devi, you were talking to one monkey, right? That red-faced monkey? That red-faced monkey, his tail is now lit on fire. Now he's been dragged along the streets with the tail lit on fire. So this is the punishment that is given to spies. So she goes and she gives this news to Sita. At that time, Sita, when she heard this very, very cruel news, she felt very miserable. She felt so much pain in her heart, and she was thinking, oh, this Hanuman, he's serving so nicely, but then he has to undergo so much tormentation. So she felt extremely bad, and she started praying to the fire god, to Agni Dev. She said, Mangal, and this is the verse. Mangala abhimuki tasya satada asin mahakapehe उपतस्ते विशालाक्षी प्रयात हव्यवाहनम यदि अस्ति पति शुश्रूषा यदि अस्ति चरितं तप यदि च अस्ति एकपत्नीत्वं शीतो भव हनुमत शीतो भव हनुमत if I have done any service to my husband yadi asti pati sushrushaya if I've done anything, any service to my husband, if I've performed a little penance, and if I am a faithful wife, yadi asti pati sushrushaya, yadi asti charitam tapaha, yadi cha asti eka patnitvam, shito bhava hanumataha. So Shito Bhava means let it be cool, let it be cool, let it be cool to Hanuman. She says, यदि मां वृत्तसम्पन्नां तत्समागमलालसां स विजानति धर्मात्मा शीतो भव हनुमता. If that victorious Sri Ram recognizes me as the one who's endowed with great conduct, who is very, very desirous of meeting him, please be cool to Hanuman. If that great Sugriv, who's true to his promise, can make me come out of this ocean of sorrow, being the friend of Ram, let it be cool to Hanuman. Shito Bhava Hanumataha. Shito Bhava Hanumataha. So she was praying like this. If I am really a very, very nice wife to Ram, if Ram is really thinking of me all the time, if I have good moral conduct, if Sugriv is really helping Ram, if all this is true, please, please let it be cool to Hanuman. So when the fire god, he heard these prayers from the goddess of fortune, Sita Devi, fire god, just to convey to her that he has heard her prayers, he started burning with huge sharp flames that were shooting and pointing upwards. And then the wind god, who is the father of Hanuman, he combined with the fire on Hanuman's tail and he started sweeping very, very coolly like a snow breeze so that he could give solace to Sita's mind. And fire god and wind god together, they began giving a very nice, cool effect to Hanuman. So Hanuman's tail was on flames, but Hanuman was thinking, my tail is on flame, but why is the fire so cool? The fire is blazing on all sides. It should be burning. But I feel like as if a snowball is there on the tip of my tail. So it was like as if he has a personal air conditioner that he's carrying at the tip of his tail. So he was thinking, actually, when I jumped over the Mount Mainaka, Varunji was very, very helpful to me. That happened because of Lord's mercy. So if they were supportive at that time, then why wouldn't fire god be nice to me by the mercy of Ram? He was thinking like that. But then he corrected himself. He said, no, 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 it is not Ram's mercy. Rather, it is Sita's mercy. The fire doesn't burn me because of the kindness of Sita. So he thinks like that. He thinks the powerfulness of Ram and the friendliness of my father, uh, that is all supporting because of the kindness of Sita. So, like this, Hanuman thinks, and then he goes again to the city gate and he stood there, secluded from the crowd of the demons. So, he just runs away from the crowd of the demons, and then now he decides that he has to burn down Lanka completely. So, he plans in his mind, if the fort is destroyed, this entire fort of Raman is destroyed, then it will be of great help to Ram. When Ram comes and he has to fight the battle and the fort is destroyed, half the city is destroyed, right? A lot of city, the huge mansions, the fort and all is destroyed. It will be easy for the enemy to charge. So he decides that he will burn up everything. So he surveys the gardens, the lofty palatial mansions, and then he decides that from one to the other, I will start jumping from one place to the other and I will light up this entire Lanka. They say even to this day, this place is called as Nuvara Elia in Sri Lanka. And Novara Elia means the city of lights. Why is it called the city of lights? It is called as the city of lights because Hanuman once lit up with fire the entire city and the entire city burned down. And from a distance, it was looking like as if the city was full of lights, but actually it was full of fire. That's why it's called Novara Elia. And later it became a British colony. And then, of course, the Britishers, because it was a nice hill station for them, they took over that place. And of course, with the British came all this westernized development. And then there were also lights later. But the original reason why that entire place is called Novarelia is because of the fire that was lit by Hanuman throughout the city. So now how did Hanuman burn down the entire city? He began jumping down from one place to the other. First he went and he burned down Prahashta's house. Then Hanuman scattered fire on it. Then he jumped to the house of Mahaparshva. Then he went to the house of the other demons, other prominent demons, who were all the relatives and the ministers and the brothers of Ravan, except the house of Vibhishan. Why? Consciously, this is mentioned by even Valmiki. Valmiki says, except the house of Vibhishan, he successfully went to every single house and he burned it down. Why he left the house of Vibhishan is because he saw the morale, the values that Vibhishan upheld in the Sabha, that Vibhishan told that a messenger should not be harmed. He could understand that this person is very righteous. So he decided to leave the house of Vibhishan, and the rest of the houses he started burning down. He had passed through all the houses and all the cities, gardens, everywhere. And with the blazing tip of his tail blazing like that with fire, he just burned down the entire city. And the wind also, it was carrying this blazing fire from one house to the other, because Vayudev was at his service, at his son's service. So Vayudev was helping. So he was helping transport that fire from one place to the other. So it became very swift. All the houses, the well, the demons, everything, they were burned down. So Hanuman literally scorched the city of Lanka, just like how Rudra, he scorched the city of Tripura. And finally, Hanuman, he goes to the ocean and he puts off the fire on his tail after this service was done. So, what do we see from this? We see from this story that if we try to cause harm to devotees, especially great devotees of the Lord, then everything comes back to destroy us. That is the very law of karma. The law of karma works everywhere, but the law of karma will especially work if someone harms devotees. The pain will come back multiple times. That very fire that was put on Hanuman's tail burnt the entire kingdom. With what we try to harm devotee, the same thing will turn around and it will destroy us. So, we actually, I don't know, I'm just saying this sort of just a personal thought that just popped up. Sometimes we say everything is Vaishnava Aparad, and even small things, we say, oh, that is Aparad, this is Aparad, that is Aparad, this is Aparad. But very easily, people do heavy aparads and they don't even care about it. Actually, these aparad meaning they try to destroy the life of another person. That is actually aparad. Okay. So, and they're so insensitive about it. Very, very insensitive. But what do we see in Hanuman's life? Hanuman's tail was burnt with fire. He was terribly dishonored. And that very fire burned down Lanka. So it'll just come back multiple times and you don't even know what's happening. So we very loosely use this term Vaishnava Aparad. But it actually, Vaishnava Aparad is something that is very heavy. It's not so like how we think, actually. Yeah, just a thought. I mean, I don't even know why I said that. Anyway, so seeing the city of Lanka blazing like this, the demons, they got so scared. And Hanuman, he goes on top of Trikuta mountain. That is actually the place where the palace and all was. And he started thinking. Now he did the job. Now, this is everybody's problem, right? In haste, we act. We all act in haste. So what did Hanuman do? He was very angry. Prabhupada also says, Hanuman used his anger in the service of the Lord. So he was extremely angry, and in his anger, he burned down the entire Lanka. He just wanted to do service, and he burned down the entire Lanka. Now, after everything was over, Hanuman started thinking, what did I do? So this is what happens with us. We also act in haste, and then we start thinking, did I do a mistake? So Hanuman was thinking, in a haste, I burned down the entire Lanka. I was very agitated. And an agitated person will never know what is right and wrong. So he says, shame upon me. I am an idiot. I mean, I'm a sinner, sorry. I am a sinner and I've acted out of utter foolishness. He's telling himself. And I've become a firebrand without giving thought to that Sita. And I've become hurtful to my dear master, Lord Ram. This whole Lanka has burned. That means even the place where Sita is must have surely be burned. So I've spoiled everything. I thought I'm doing service to Ram, but this is the biggest disservice I've done. The purpose for which all this effort was taken has been spoiled. At the time of burning the city, I did not secure Sita. Very rashly, I went and I burned down the entire city. If the entire city is burning, even Sita would have been burned. What is the use of all this? What have I done? Maybe Now he's thinking, I spoiled everything. I should not live even for a moment. I cannot live. I must just give up my life. Should I jump into fire? I'll just jump into this fire and give up my life. Because what if Sita is not there? Or should I actually jump into the ocean and give my body as a feed to the marine animals? So, like this, when Hanuman was thinking, suddenly he started seeing some positive omens. And he thought, or maybe Sita, she could have been protected by her own effulgence as she can never get destroyed. How can fire destroy fire? By Sita's mercy, the fire on my tail is not burning me and I'm finding it cool. Then, if this is because of the power of Sita and the benevolence of Sita, then this fire that is spreading everywhere, how can it burn the worshipable Sita? Fire can never burn fire itself. Sita can just burn away the fire with her penance. So, fire does not ignite her. So, like this, when Hanuman was thinking, the same thing was spoken by some Charanas who were walking in the sky. Charanas are some semi demigod type beings. They were walking in the sky and they were telling, you know something, it's so surprising that this entire city of Lanka has been burned. The marketplaces, the arch doorways, the palaces, everything is burnt. But it is so miraculous that Sita alone is not burned. So Hanuman was very, very happy to hear this. He could hear the Charana speaking and he felt very happy. Then Hanuman, he made up his mind that he should go and visit Sita and should go and meet her personally before he returns to the mainland. So he runs to Ashoka Vatika and there he sees Sita Devi is completely unharmed. So he goes, he pays his obeisances to Sita Devi, who's still sitting there under the foot of the Ashoka tree. And he says to Sita, I'm so happy that you're not injured. And Sita smiles and she says, oh, Hanuman, you yourself are surely sufficient single-handedly to complete this task of, winning over Ravan. Why? Where is the need of any war? You can do everything by yourself. Whatever you have revealed today is incredible. However, it is only appropriate for Ram to come here and take me with him. So, for that sake, Hanuman, you should go back and tell Ram, tell him that I am waiting, and bring Ram along with all the other leaders of the Vanaras and the bears. Come, ask Ram to conquer Ravan in the battle and take away all our grief. So Hanuman, he accepts and he decides to take leave. He takes leave from Sita Devi, he pays his obeisances, and then he is all set to go to Mount Arishta. Arishta is a big mountain near the ocean shore where he can take a leap from in Lanka, just like how he took a leap from Mahendragiri in India. Here in Lanka, he wanted to climb Mount Arishta. So now Hanuman, he ascended that mountain and he made his body very, very big so that he can fly. Actually, when Hanuman came here, he completed total 9 tasks coming to Lanka. What are the 9 tasks that he completed? Valmiki says this in 2 verses. The tasks are killing the demons, revealing his identity, comforting Vaidehi, showing his prowess to the demons, burning down the entire city, deluding Ravana, showing his prowess to all the common people in Lanka, paying obeisances to Vaidehi, and finally getting himself ready to return back to the mainland. So Hanuman, who was the son of wind god, after consoling Sita, he made up his mind to go. He paid obeisances to Sita and then he mounted this great mountain called as Arishta. So this mountain, it was covered with dark green rows of gardens. There were beautiful elephants, nice red spotted deers, and the clouds were hanging between the summits. The mountain was embellished with a number of beautiful, beautiful peaks. And there were many nice gold and silver and rubies and all these different mines. And there was caves. It was endowed with many trees. And now this Pavana Kumar, the son of wind god, he was ready to take off from that mountain. The son of wind god, he was now ready to fly in the sky towards the northern direction, like a wind from the southern direction. So he presses his foot on the mountain, and because of the pressure that he is applying, it appeared that the entire mountain sank in and the waves were slashing. They were all lashed up. All the waves were just sprinkling in all directions and jumping into the air. And Hanuman, with his force like the wind, without any fatigue, he had gone through. Actually, it was this whole Sundara Kanda is mentioned to have happened in 2 days' time. That's all. Just 2 days of Sundara Kanda. He completed his task. He went around evening time. He surveyed in the night. He went to the Simshapa tree. He saw Sita Devi early morning. Everything was done. He speaks to her. He finished everything within 2 days, So 2 days he was ready to even return. So Hanuman, with the power of the wind and without any fatigue, he looked at the sky and he started flying into the sky. And it was looking like a large ship was crossing the ocean. Again, his shadow was cast on the ocean, and it was looking like a large ship that was crossing the ocean. And he was going inside and outside the cluster of clouds, and he appeared like the moon that was becoming visible and invisible again. So he tore across the cluster of the clouds, and again he emerged, roaring with a big noise. So, like this, Hanuman, he flew like Garuda in the sky. And then on his way, he again saw Mount Mainak. This time also, again, he touched Mount Mainak with great reverence, and he flew with great speed, just like an arrow that is discharged from the bowstring of Lord Ram. Now, why did he just touch Mainak this time? Last time he said, okay, I'm touching you and I'm going because I have a task to perform. I have to go find Sita. This time also he has a task because he has to go and give the message to Ram. So again, reverentially, he just touched Mainak and he proceeded further. So he was getting closer and closer to Mount Mahendragiri in the mainland, and he looked like a dense cloud. And Hanuman, he made a loud noise. He was slapping his thighs and he was roaring. And it appeared like as if the clouds were rumbling in all directions. He roared and he waved his tail as he was nearing Mahendragiri. And these great mighty Vanaras who were waiting in the shore of the ocean, they were so eager to see Hanuman, and they could hear the roars coming from the sky. And Jambavan looked at all the Vanaras and he declared, Hanuman has accomplished everything. The sound that we hear is a sound of victory. He has definitely fulfilled his task, and there is no doubt about this. So, hearing the sound of the dashing movement of the Hanuman's arms and thighs, the monkeys, they started jumping in the place that they were. Some of the monkeys, they were so excited with joy that they started ascending huge mountains. They started climbing on trees so that they could see Hanuman come and land in Mahendragiri. Some of them, they waved their hands while others joined their palms, welcoming Hanuman, and they were screaming, Jai Hanuman! Hanuman is back. And finally, the swift Hanuman, who was looking like a mountain, descended on the summit of Mount Mahendra that was crowded with thick trees. So, with Hanuman landing in India, we will stop here. There are any comments, questions, realizations? We can take that.
Jai, Jai Hanuman, Jai Preethi Vilasini Mataji. Very beautiful session, Mataji. I just have one question about that Chaitya Prasadam you said. So you were mentioning that it's a Buddhist temple, but definitely at that time, what was its significance during Ravan's reign?
Yeah, so Ravan's time also, it was a Buddhist temple only. So that's what
At that time, Buddha was not there, right?
So Buddha, see, the idea of Buddhism is nothing but atheism. Anything against the Vedas is called as Bauddha. Okay.
Hmm.
So anything against the Vedas is Bauddha. Buddhism has always been there. That is, atheism has always been there. So they have some atheistic, non-Vedic understanding of worship and non-Vedic deities that is considered Buddhist. Okay, so that's how the commentators, even in the Vedanta Sutras, also there is the commentator, the ones who write the commentary for the Vedanta Sutras itself, they defeat Buddhism. That means they defeat the atheistic theories. So anyone who's against the Vedas, who have deities that is against the Vedas, who propagate any teachings against the Vedas, self-concocted theories of religion, such a religion is called as Buddhist, like that. And of course, Buddha comes every Kali Yuga. He's an empowered incarnation that comes every Kali Yuga.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Thank
the concept of Buddhism has always been there, even at the time of Ram. Because even during the Jabali, when Ayodhya, when all of them they came, right, from Bharat Maharaj, he said,
you.
Jabali, and then there's a conversation. That is also, he said, this kind of Buddhist ideas, why are you talking all this to me? Right? That is also
So it
Bauddha.
means about atheism.
Yeah, atheism or anything against the Vedas. If you're concocting a kind of worship or a deity or a philosophy that is not adhering to the Vedas, then it is Buddhist. Because I'll just tell you one small example in Bhagavatam. See, this Rishabhadev, right? He was a great incarnation of the Lord. But then seeing his activities, what happened? A great king, he misunderstood. And Prabhupada in the brackets, he says it is Jainism. Jainism was started. But if you read the verse itself, it will say Bauddha. That means it is non-Vedic. That's what it means.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Very much clear. And thank you for last. It was so enthusiastic. Hanuman coming back looks like you are also very happy. Finally, he did his job. He came back.
Yeah, he's back.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Rachna Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Very nice, amazing. Just it's beautiful. This is would you believe it? This is the first time I'm hearing Sundar Kand, if you can believe that.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so I'm very happy that I'm hearing it from you. So my only question is that in your presentation, I found that it was written that for Ravan and Indrajit, it was written high-minded Indrajit and Ravan. What does that mean, high-minded? Like,
I just copy pasted the content for my flow. High-minded means let's see the word to word. I'll know better if I see the word to word. Yeah. Okay. High-minded. High-souled. I believe high-souled cannot be for these Raman and Indrajit. It could, Mataji, these are not Prabhupada's English, right? It's a different kind of English. So just
okay.
see the flow, sometimes I copy paste, not that I use the same words. So I will find out what the exactly Sanskrit name was for high-minded. Maybe they were intelligent. That's what it means, is my guess. They were of great intellect, right? So it should be intelligent in all probability. Highly virtuous is different. That is generally used for Hanuman, Ramchandra, and all that. High-minded must be intellectual. Okay.
Okay, yes. Thank you for that.
Very good. Anything else?
Dear devotees, anyone else has any questions, any reflections to share? Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So we can end here. Thank you, dear devotees. So we will continue with Sundarkand, one more session, right?
Yeah. One more session is there. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, dear devotees. Thank you for joining us. See you all next Monday. Let's pay obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo अनंत वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री वाल्मीकि रामायण की जय, हर प्रीति विलासी माता जी की जय.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, dear devotees, ending the call.